Artificial Intelligence Fundamentals for Developers. In this session, we're going to understand what is AI and what is agentic AI. So understanding these concepts is very important so that what we shall be building on them, we shall be building on something that we actually understand. So that's why I'm trying to take my time to see that I explain these concepts. So by the time we proceed, we already have very good grounds. So I request you to also be attentive, not just take them and ignore, but I want you to be attentive so you can understand AI from the grounds, not just finding it from anywhere with your own way of understanding it and start making use of it. It will not be a good approach. So I'm going to share my experience or how artificial intelligence has changed everything to me. So before the introduction of artificial intelligence, I built an e-learning platform using manual coding approach. But after AI, I built a school dynamic system or school management system, which is software as a service that's now being used by schools. And it was 10 times faster compared to how I used to do things. So in simple terms, artificial intelligence will boost you even beyond 10 times faster than how you could have done things in a manual way. And that makes you to be among the competitors who are on the market at this moment in programming. So artificial intelligence in my daily work, how I make use of it, I use it to generate boilerplate codes, some code that are repetitive. I use AI to just generate it, and I don't need to write the structure of HTML itself. I use it to debug complex issues. For example, if I get an issue, instead of me taking minutes to go and search it from scratch, I do use AI to debug or to fix those issues. And I see how it has fixed it. And then also I use AI to make the documentation of some of pieces of code or even the project itself. And I also use AI to do the testing of my systems. So AI can help you to do these things even beyond. But in simple terms, this is how I use AI. So I find that AI, it has not replaced my job, but it has made my job more valuable and more simpler. So if something that I can do in 2 weeks, I can simply do it in 2 days, or even less than 2 days. So that's where I also want you to be, so we can compete fairly. So what is AI? So AI, we're going to break it in simple terms. So is the possibility for the machine to think and learn. So that extent at which a machine can think, not exactly like a human, but almost like a human, or even beyond a human, to that extent is what we call artificial intelligence, and ability for the machine to learn something. So that here in this project, we're not going to use red color, we're going to use blue color moving forward, and it learns it and it does not do again red color, something like that. So that ability is what we call artificial intelligence. So another point that we can make here, artificial intelligence is trained on millions of code examples. So imagine different codes that are out there for different experts. Artificial intelligence, it has ability to learn from them and then gets all this knowledge to help you do your own code, or to help you do the code for yourself out of the millions and millions of code, of which for you can spend millions of years, of which you can't even spend millions of years to learn. But this can be done by the machine. It understands it, and then after, it comes and helps you to do the code after learning those millions of code. So another point is artificial intelligence can generate text, it can generate code, in simple terms, can generate files, and also can generate images. So that's the advantage. So before, when the artificial intelligence came in, we could just copy paste. But here, the good news is artificial intelligence has the ability even to generate the files and even put the content in there. It has the ability to read the files and modify them and find even the problem and fix it, remove even unnecessary files or even add necessary files that you have been missing. So having that ability, what does it mean? It means that we can do some kind of an entire project of an interconnected system by the use of what? By the use of commands to AI. So it improves over time and with more data. So the AI that is here today is not the same AI that was here 2 years ago. So in simple terms, as like human, like you do learn things and you keep on improving, AI does the same. So with time, it keeps on improving. So that's why you have to embark on this journey of AI. So like after 10 years from now, you're using something that is actually having a lot of experience. That's the whole point. So how AI learned to code. So let's understand how AI learned to code. It used training. They trained it from the billions of lines of code from GitHub. So that's how you can simply do that. You can simply say that. So if you know GitHub, it's a platform where programmers share their code, or even enterprises do share their code from there. So AI has the ability to access this code and learns from it. So it does the what you call pattern recognition, and it does the understanding of syntax and logic and problem solving, and also generation. It can now suggest the code and explain even different concepts. So a real example is here. For example, you can prompt or you can ask the artificial intelligence to do something like this. Create a Laravel function to validate phone numbers in Uganda. Generate complete function with +256 validation. So this command, just creating this command, the AI can use it to generate the function that can validate 256, that's the country code of Uganda, and does even the error handling and testing it. Test it for you, it can take you 30 minutes even to do that, but for it can take seconds to achieve that. So that's why artificial intelligence is very important or key in programming, in programmers' life, to save time and also save time, etc. So that's how AI can help us. That's just a simple example. So here is your toolkit. As I said in the previous lecture, you have to have at least somewhere to note. So these are the things that we're going to be using. We have GitHub Copilot. So this one will help us to suggest the code as we type, and also it will help us to complete functions, and it learns our coding style. So that is a Copilot. Then we have a design AI for color palettes, and then layout suggestions and font pairings. Then we have Cloud-A or ChatGPT. This one will help us to explain complex concepts, and also it will help us in debugging, and it is always available 24 hours. So here is important thing that you should know. AI is a tool. It's not magic. It is just a tool that we have to use in programming, but it's not magic. It makes mistakes. You should know that. You must verify the output of AI. So if you have commanded an AI to do something, don't just go ahead and produce it before you actually go through it, both in the code and also in the front end, to make sure that it is doing something that you exactly expected. Otherwise, AI can also do mistakes. You should keep that in your mind starting from today moving forward. Understanding big scoping, of course, even though we're going to use AI, but just copying and paste without something that you understand, it's not good as someone who understands something without, even though they copy and paste, but they actually understand. So that's the approach we're going to do. So you should always know that. So the more you understand, the better. And also, you are still a developer. You're not just a person who will just be in office and then just copy paste or put some commands, push, and then make sure that, and then think that everything goes to work exactly as how it's supposed to work, even you without putting your minds there. No, You're still a developer. You're still going to interface with code, though much of this code will be generated by AI, but still you have to have that feel for the touch, not to fear the code, not just to just fear the code to touch it, because you'll be thinking that you're not a developer. No, you are still a developer. So traditional question and answers. For example, here there are some questions and answers. So, for example, you can ask, what's the syntax for the button HTML? So the AI can just simply go ahead and create for you such kind of a syntax. So your task will be just to copy and paste it, and that will be a task that is done. So that is a traditional way of doing artificial intelligence. So that's how many people are using it. Like, you just give it a task, it writes for you the code, and then you copy the code, you go and paste it the other way, the other side. But here we're going to introduce to you what we call agentic AI. So this is an autonomous agent that will help us to do different tasks. For example, you can ask an agentic AI like build a contact form with validation. So this agentic AI will be able to create steps like the first step, which will be able to say, I'm going to create HTML structure, or it will create a HTML structure, and then it will go ahead and add CSS styling. It will write JavaScript validations, and then it tests all the fields, and then generate the documentation, and then even suggest the improvements. And these can even be multiple files where you don't need even to copy and paste. It will do all of them at once, or in a single command, without you even needing to copy and paste. So that's what we call agentic AI. So this is a traditional way of copy and paste. Is different, but of course, which I think we already know. But this one will be able to even create files for us, so you can have something that is complete and has much more sense. So the key difference here is that the traditional AI, it is a single response to a single question, but agentic AI is multiple steps, autonomous problem solving. You give it a question that can handle, it can do multiple steps, not just giving you just a question and answer like they always do with a traditional way of using AI. So all these are going to learn them at once in this project. This course. So here is an example, building a login system. So traditional AI. So my first project. So you write HTML form. It can take you like 1 hour, and then you go ahead and write the CSS, which can take you 1 hour, and then you go ahead and connect the back end, which can take you like 2 hours, and then also go ahead and debug or test the debug, which can also take you another 2 hours. So this is like a total of 2 hours. But with the agentic AI, you can just simply describe all the requirements that you want your project to do to have, or your login page to have, and describe them to this agentic AI. So the AI will generate all the files, and also your task will be generate all the files and create a complete system. So your task will be just to review and customize where necessary, and then test it, approve, and then deploy, which can take you less than 2 hours. So you'll find that you have saved a lot of hours compared to the other traditional way of programming. So here is a code design, and AI gives you an instant explanation. So why is the div entering? So you can ask that, and the AI will go ahead and do what, and explain to you. For example, if you ask why is the div not centering, the AI can go ahead and explain to you in case the other code has an issue. So it can also work as a design assistant. For example, you can ask the AI, generate for me the color palette for a hospital website. And then the AI will go ahead and do it and generate for you the palette of the hospital website, for example. Now, AI also can help you for smart debugging. You cannot read like a property of undefined variable. For example, this kind of error. So the AI doesn't exist. The the element does not exist, and so the AI will give you some kind of a response. The element does not exist when you're running your script, and then your script is so it will explain for you the problem, right? And it will go ahead and move and make for you the solution to that problem. So it can also help us in debugging, or what we call smart debugging. So we have also some poor prompts. For example, someone can say code, or fix this, or make a website, or help, something like that. That's not how you prompt an AI. When you prompt an AI, you have to do what? To give it a context. So I'll give you an example of good prompts or good commands that you can give to AI. For example, you can ask AI explain the HTML forms with a complete example. So that can be like a good command to an AI. It will go ahead and do it and do it for you. You can ask the AI create a responsive navigation menu with, and then you specify the task that you want this AI to do for you, with the logo in the left, with the logo on the left, and then links on the right, and then the hamburger menu for the mobile, and then the drop down for services and links, for services and other links, and then you go ahead and even specify the CSS colors, something like that. So the AI, it will understand because you have given it much more information. So the more context that you give the AI, the better, other than just giving it basic lines, as how we saw in these poor examples of prompts. So in simple terms, the more context you give it, the better. So here is the prompting formula for artificial intelligence. So you have to note it down because it's very important. First of all, you have to put the context. Context is the explanation, then plus the specific request, what you need to achieve, and then constraints. You also have to put the constraints, and then the format. So those are the most key sections that must be in your prompt when you're giving it to an AI. Put the context, like explain what you need to achieve. Go ahead and specify the request. So put the context. Explain what is the project or the program or the question is all about, so it can understand. Then give the specific request. Explain to the AI what you exactly want to achieve. And then also give constraints, give limitation, like don't do this, I don't want to say this, I want to do this. And then give the format, like I want you to respond in this way and this way and this way. So once you give a rich prompt like this one, the AI will give you a much more rich response. So you should always keep that in your mind, that we don't just ask AI any kind of questions, but we ask it we give it enough context, specific, and even limitations, and the format. So here is an example that I prepared for you. For example, you can ask the AI, I'm learning CSS or CSS Flexbox. So that one will work as a context. So the AI will know that, okay, this person is learning CSS Flexbox. And then say create a 3-card layout. So that's the request. Okay? So the AI will know that that's what you want to achieve. And then you can say the card should be equal height. And that will be a constraint, a limitation, or a specific rule that must be achieved when it is making for you the response. And then explain each property used. So that is the format of how you want this response to be like. So that is how we do the prompt. That's how we create a prompt. We provide the context, we provide the request that we want to achieve, then we provide the constraints or the limitation or the instructions, and then we go ahead and provide the format of how we want our response to be in. So do you use AI for understanding concepts? You should have to use AI for understanding concepts. You have to use AI for generating starter code. You have to use AI for debugging errors. You have to use AI for exploring alternatives. You have to use AI for writing documentation. You have to use AI for creating test cases, but don't use AI for blindly copying without understanding. That is not allowed, or that is not recommended. And also avoid learning fundamentals. Don't use AI to avoid learning fundamentals. It's important for you to always understand the fundamentals. And also, submitting works as entirely yours. Okay, don't use AI to avoid submitting works as entirely yours. And also, skipping, practicing, and repetition. Don't use AI to avoid skipping practice and repetition. Don't use AI for that. Practice is part of you as a developer. All right. And then don't use AI for critical thinking. You have to add a human touch. For what? For critical thinking. Otherwise, you shouldn't use AI for doing the critical thinking for you. So here is the rule of 80/20. In simple terms, AI has to generate, or will have to generate, or will have ability to generate the 80% of the boilerplate code, like most common code, or the structure of the code. The 80% of it will be AI. And then you add the 20% customization and understanding. So after the AI has done its work, let's say it's now 80%. So your task will be now to modify or add your own human understanding to that work, which can be 20%. And then you verify the work, and then the output will be 100%. So that is the rule that you need to put into the place. Let the AI do the 80, and then you do the 20 as a human to supervise and customization, and then the output of the work will be the 100%. So that should be the rule. Okay, 80/20 rule. So here are the success stories that some people have shared about their AI, and then live demo scenarios that you can use AI. For example, you can ask AI, create a simple about page, create a debugging. Debugging with AI, you can say fix a centering issue with maybe a certain div. You can ask AI, get some color palette, and then you can also ask AI to explain maybe some CSS box models, something like that, how it is done. So here the key takeaway is AI accelerates, but it does not replace the learning. That is the most key takeaway that you have to keep in your minds moving forward. So here are the essential resources that we're going to use along the way. We're going to use these learning sites, W3 Schools. We're going to use Google Fonts. Along the way, we're going to use CodePen for testing our code, and we're going to use ChatGPT for our AI tools. You can pause the video and see if you're familiar with those platforms that we're going to be using along the way. Now, understanding AI limitations. So AI is excellent at, we have separated this one into two. AI is excellent at, and then we have AI struggles with, or the limitation of the AI. So AI is excellent at generating boilerplate. Right? That you should know that. AI is excellent at explaining the concepts. And also AI is excellent at debugging the syntax or fixing the issues. And also AI is best at suggesting the best practices, right, that you can use when writing code. Also, AI is good at being available 24/7. Anytime you want it, as long as you have the connection, it will always be there. But AI also struggles with very new technologies. If your technology is totally new, AI means that does not have enough information about it, so it can struggle with it. It struggles with the complex logic, so if you don't guide it, it will still struggle with complex logic, and also your specific context. If you have your own scenario, if you don't give it a very clear explanation of your scenario, AI will still struggle with it. And also, it has security vulnerabilities and also architecture choices. AI can choose for you things that you didn't actually want. So it still struggles with that. So the human developer's role. So what is the role as a human developer? So it is to understanding the why behind code. Okay, so why the code is showing this. So the code behind what you're seeing, you have to understand it. So that is your role. So ensure the security. Make the decisions. You shouldn't let the AI to decide everything for you. You have to make the decision also as a human developer. Okay, you have to ensure security. You have to ensure optimization, performance. You have to ensure. So even though AI can do for you things, but you have to make sure that it is doing things that are actually optimal. You have also to solve a novel problem, right? It is you to solve a problem, not the AI solve the problem for you. And also work in teams, not just work with AI only, but you have to work also with teams. So you plus AI, you're just kind of an unstoppable force. That's what you should always know. So ethical AI usage, we have academic integrity. So always credit AI when used, and then professional ethics, verify AI generated code, and also learning mindset. AI helps you to learn faster, not to skip learning. That's what you should also know. And also, from my experience, when building the hospital management system at that platform, AI generated much of my code, but I had to review the code and also have to customize the healthcare regulations based on Uganda setup, and also had to test the code thoroughly, all right? And also made architecture decisions like how things should be placed. I didn't let the AI to do everything and decide for me. All right, and AI was my assistant, but it did not do what? It did not replace me. So before the next session, set up the AI tools like in 20 minutes. You have to also practice the prompting. Try to prompt the AI with 3 simple questions, following the tasks, following the guidelines that I have shared with you, and also read and reflect what I have just shared, and also try AI communities, so in order you can always understand what the AI can do for you. So are you ready for the next session? So in the next session, we're going to be building a first AI web page in 2 hours. And then here the key takeaways is AI is your learning accelerator, not a replacement. Agentic AI can complete multi-step tasks autonomously. Good programming gets better, all right? So you should always know that good programming gets better with good programming prompts get better results. Also verify everything AI generates, and also use AI ethically, okay? And then also human skills still actually matter, so don't think that the human skills don't matter anymore. So you are learning to be a developer who uses AI, okay? Not an operator. Like you're not an operator, but you're going to learn you're going to become a developer, but who will be using the what? The AI. Not just an operator, someone who operates the AI. No, that's not your task. And I've also built more than 14 systems, already said this. All right, so I think that's enough for today, for this session. Let's meet in the next session, where we're going to take it to another step.